Hello and welcome to Lulay of All Aces, where you can learn nonsense to useful things that you can apply in your daily lives. And today I haven't been doing some videos for a couple of days because I have been busy at work, and now I find a little time to do some chit chat. And as you can see, I'm loving my effect now. I'm having this effect because our topic today is like about top five common or natural practices that Filipinos do, and it becomes like unusual to foreign people, to foreigners. So I've asked a couple of things from my foreign colleagues and friends and acquaintances with habits. I've asked like about maybe 23 people that I know from the hospital and from the center that they often see to my kababayan. I'm also Filipino, but I'm working here in Saudi Arabia for 15 years. They don't offer Saudi citizenship unless you marry a Saudi natural or Saudi citizen. So which makes like you have to convert into Muslim if you married them and all the process. Anyway, yeah, my topic for today are the top five common natural practices of Filipinos regardless. So I'll tell you why there's a regardless line that appears to be awkward or not gives other foreigners an easy feeling, I should say, that they do not observe from me. So quite like some of the things here are quite like I think there's one that I would say I do practice sometimes, but just because, okay, I'll give you a little background. I was born in a province, so I'm Visaya, but I grew up in Manila from 3 years old when my family transferred from Visaya to Manila. So my town is in Samar. I do know how to speak the dialect, though when I try to communicate with Visayan people, um, it sounded like I'm trying hard enough to speak on their own language. But strange enough to see, I would communicate with them in Tagalog, and they would try to communicate with me in Visayan dialect. So that's it. So now let's go on to the fifth one, the list of the five common. Filipinos, regardless whichever place they are, and commonly foreigners would see and would hear that they will commonly call their kabayans KUYA or ate. So with me, like maybe my colleagues would notice, I sometimes, but it's like force for me to do it. But commonly, I don't call my Filipino colleagues kuya or ate, even if I know that they're like how many years older than me. Now, Filipinos who are calling or usually calls kuya or ate signifies that they respect the person that they're talking to, regardless of, especially if they do not know them. And likewise, if they know that this person is older than them, regardless if the age is like few months or like a year, as long as that age steps on somebody who's older than them. So they would call whoever is along the way kuya or ate. Now, it signifies respect. However, some foreigners that I've spoken to, they find it weird because mostly, like in Americans, they don't call or they don't address their older sister like somebody. They would just describe them, for all that I know. They would just describe them that, oh, she's my older sister, he's my older brother. But other than that, the only thing that we know who's having the title of somebody's older than them is probably like aunt, grandma, grandpa, mommy, and daddy, father, mother, and so forth. But like in our situation, it has been a tradition and it has been a cultural practice that we call somebody regardless, especially if you do not know that person. You don't find Filipinos outside who would say sir or ma'am. Rarely you would say, but there are some, a little number. But commonly, we actually do practice calling kuya or ate. But like with me, I would practice it, but not really. It's like if 10 of us are inside the room and there's only one ate, and like 8 of them are calling them ate, by force I would just call her ate. But if we're just the two of us, that rule would break, because for me, not all people, even if you're Filipino, are feeling at ease to be called ate or kuya, you know, those things. So, I mean, that's my rule, and I would just have other ways of showing them my respect. Now, go on to my next number 4. We were on the 5th, from the top 5. Combing, combing your hair in public, regardless. Yeah, that's a common thing. Like even me, even in private, I don't usually comb my hair that much. Like unless if I know that I have to, because like hygienic reason, you really have to comb your hair to stimulate the oil from your scalp and to prevent you from having dandruff and everything. But other than that, I commonly see my colleagues, they would bring their comb, and then regardless of whatever it is that they're doing or wherever they are at, they would usually extend their dressing table and comb in public. And commonly for those who are having long hair, they would really comb and then tie their hair and make it neat. I mean, foreigners would feel awkward with that because commonly they don't practice it. Like with me, I don't practice. I'm not a foreigner, but it's like I don't know. I don't. I don't see people in our house do that. I mean, your dressing table is your dressing table, and you should leave it inside your room. And then when you're in the public, you can just go to the toilet and everything and do your thing. But like doing it in public is like I would powder my face, but like combing my hair, it's like for me, especially if you're sitting with somebody, it's like you're sharing whatever it is that you have in your hair, those things. Or like one thing that I do not like as well is like sharing the comb. I don't know. Maybe you could put on your comments below and see about your thoughts. I mean, I don't know. Now the third is, so we're in the 5th, 4th, 3. Owning what's in, or what's in the trend of a gadget or gadgets, regardless. Like commonly, I would say for those who are, I'm not having anything against for those who are the senior ones. I couldn't say older, but for those coming from the past generation, commonly I would see, especially in the main hospital, I would see they would like to have whatever is in the trend for the gadgets. Like one time I've spoken to somebody who has iPhone 7. Mind you, iPhone 7 that time, now I think it lessened the price, but that time it was still new. It was real expensive, and that this girl, probably on her 50s, although I know it's not old, but 50s or 60s, like that, mid 50s. She has this iPhone 7 the red one. So I overheard their conversation saying that, oh, do you have my number? I'm sorry, I don't have your number because I changed my cell phone number. Could you give it to me? So the other friend said, okay, I'll just give it to you. No, 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 no. You try to make a missed call. I mean, call me and then I would save it. No, 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 because you can actually save it. Just go to the blah blah blah. So, oh, really? You can do that? Duh. I mean, all phones you could just put your number. So I mean those things. Commonly, I would say for foreigners that I know, they won't buy something unless they know how it is being operated. So, common habits of Filipinos, yeah, you would see those. Now, the second one, second to the worst, is using towels or other clothings because they don't have their brassiere on. Like I commonly see it, especially in dormitories, and like you wake up. I mean, I don't wear brassiere when I sleep, so definitely I wouldn't have them when I wake up. So if somebody wakes up, commonly I would see, especially in the hallways, you would know a Filipino who's not wearing a brassiere when you see one, and how the classic sign of it is having a towel in front of their trunk. I mean, really, really. Obviously, you don't have a brassiere, so why don't you wear the one that you had last night? Or why don't you just find some time to wear rather than having a lot of effort, working a lot of things, holding your towel and being so conscious, by going out of your building or your flat and then going to buy a sachet of shampoo. I mean, that's commonly practiced. I mean, we Filipinos don't find it weird because that's what they usually see probably at home. But hey, Filipinos, our foreign friends are thinking, why do we have to do that? I mean, like me, if I know that I'm not wearing a brassiere on and I have to go out, I make sure that I have to wear a brassiere and feel comfortable, more comfortable and at ease, rather than being stared at, especially if you're working in a foreign country. They would see, why are you putting your towel on and you don't have a brassiere on, so might as well wear them rather than letting the world know that, hey, I'm having my towel and I'm don't have a brassiere. Okay, that's it. So I don't do that. Now the first one, and commonly, sometimes I'm guilty with it, but like what I've told you, I grew up from province. I'm Visaya, but I could only understand, but I don't speak Waray, but I would understand it. So whenever a Waray would communicate with me, I reply to them in Tagalog because English and Tagalog are the only languages that I know, and plus Arabic. But I am not fluent in speaking in Visayan. So it's using our own dialects, not merely Tagalog only, regardless. So this is commonly a mean practice in the work area, and I have observed it, like certain places in the Philippines, when they gather together, they would, especially in one shift, they would speak on their own dialect, not merely Tagalog, regardless if the policy would say that you're not supposed to be talking aside from English and Arabic, because it's actually a part of bullying. The person who doesn't know what you're talking about would feel awkward and would feel left out. And then at the end of the day, a patient might suffer because that person would feel awkward to even ask help because that person doesn't know whether you're talking about good things about her or whoever, somebody that she knows or whoever. So that's a big common practice that we Filipinos feel guilty. I would feel guilty as well because I speak Tagalog sometimes. Because mind you, sometimes if Filipinos would tell jokes, it's not going to be the same essence that we're having it when we translate the joke into English. I mean, I hope you get me. So that's it. Um, those are the five common practice that we Filipinos are guilty of, and most of them I find that from my colleagues they don't see that I do. Although I think a couple of them I feel I'm guilty of. But yeah, that's it. And that's my video for today. I just hope that you learned something. And I hope that my kababayan would not feel awkward or offended, because don't worry, these are just opinions of my foreign friends, and these are just the observations that they see. At least I would tell you why, and reasons that they have told me are the ones that I'm also relaying to you. So if you like my video, give it a thumbs up, and that's the reason why there's a Dizzy here, and my friend is still here with me, Lots of Bear. So if you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe. Do feel share your thoughts on the comments below, and keep in touch with my other social media accounts that are linked on the description below. And I'll see you again. And I'll be looking forward for some topics that you would like me to feature on my blogs. And yeah, that's it. Please do subscribe, because here in Lulay of All Aces, you'll learn nonsense to useful things that you can apply on your daily lives. Okay? Thank you!